My friends, this week marks the 7-year anniversary of my channel on YouTube, and I want to thank all of my subscribers and channel members who made it possible for this supervillain at the center of the earth to get his message out and fight to save pop culture. We'll be celebrating this milestone event tonight on Friday Night Frolics, but in the meantime, please help us by hitting the subscribe button and notification bell, or even becoming a channel member. You get access to exclusive and uncensored channel member videos every week, custom emojis, and exclusive live streams as well. Folks, we've been fighting the war to save pop culture for 7 years as of this week. Help us to keep the fight going. Thanks for everything, my friends, and now on to the video. My friends, the situation with UbiSoft is heating up, and I have a serious update to share with you on a story I posted just a few days ago. I'm not going to screw around because I want to get you guys up to speed as quickly as possible, so at this point I must state that what I'm about to share with you is information provided to me by sources claiming knowledge of the situation inside UbiSoft, but since I cannot personally confirm any of this, I'm presenting it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. So I first got wind that there were hints and allegations of trouble behind the scenes at UbiSoft when it hit the news that Assassin's Creed Shadows' release date had been pushed back, at which point I received the following update from my agents, quote, "We are being told UbiSoft is delaying Assassin's Creed game to take the woke out of it, or as much as they can. As we understand it, the lack of pre-order and fan backlash against this game has led to this decision. UbiSoft cannot afford another Outlaws flop. Also, according to sources, there are some people on the staff who are unhappy about this, and we are being told Ubisoft has told them they can either do as they're told or walk," unquote.
Yeah, that's the problem with hiring this current generation of woketivist youth. Their primary allegiance is not to the company, it's to the agenda, circumventing expectations, undermining franchises, corrupting history, and to hell with profit. These people do not necessarily follow directions from higher up, Stoomcock. Just ask poor Bob Chapek about that.
Words of wisdom, Harvey Cthulhu. Yes, activist Disney employees forced Bob Chapek to bend the knee and interfere with Florida legislation, the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, against Chapek's better judgment. And as Chapek feared, Disney paid the price, alienated the governor of Florida, and basically gave themselves hell for years to come. So here's the thing, folks. Now it seems UbiSoft is full of activist employees who think they're the boss. They think they run the place and can veto the decisions of upper management, all in the name of the agenda. UbiSoft, like many companies, is all in on woke until they lose so much because of it. Then it starts seriously hurting their profits or even leads them into seriously dire financial straits. Case in point, Star Wars Outlaws. It's all great fun to take a beautiful female character, give her Han Solo's chin and the haircut from the feral kid in Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, until gamers get seriously disgusted and say, "Screw this game, I'm male." And if you find the male gaze that offensive, go F yourselves. Oops. Suddenly, the game bombs. And then alas, alack, Ubisoft sees that their next major release is catching all kinds of hell for having a woke black samurai in it. Not something you'd see every day in feudal Japan, I understand. At this point, desperation starts to set in. Ubisoft decides, shit, we better put the brakes on this and de-wokify this mess as much as we can. So they push it back to February of 2025 for 3 reasons. February is Black History Month, so they think that'll help them push the game. In moving it to February, they get it into a different quarter than Star Wars Outlaws, so they don't have 2 massive losers in February. And finally, they have the excuse, if it bombs, to say, well shit, of course it bombed. February is no month to release games.
That would be sad if it weren't so bloody hilarious.
I hear you, O Skull of Calderon. So this past Tuesday, I was all prepared to begin editing a video about Toyota saying sayonara to woke and leaving DEI in their rear view mirrors, just as more and more major corporations are doing across this great planet of ours, when out of the blue I received an urgent message from my Hollywood spies about some shit allegedly about to go down at UbiSoft. Because this was a breaking situation, I shelved the Toyota video and immediately began working on a video wherein the following information was relayed. Quote, "We have a few sources that were brave enough to go on record with what was really happening with Assassin's Creed. Well, two reached back out to us with new information on what's happening. According to both sources, the employees are threatening to strike over the changes that upper management is wanting to make. They claim there has already been a soft walkout in protest. We asked what was meant by a soft walkout. According to both, the protesters in question just stood in the main lobby. The current situation is today, UbiSoft will be sitting down with their activist employees to talk about the future of their company. This came from an email and our sources told us we would be the first to hear it." Unquote. Well, now, my friends, it is time for us to follow up on that alleged meeting. My spies stayed all over this story and received an update from sources inside the company. Here's what they claim happened at this meeting. Quote, "We are going to leave a few things out to protect our sources. So there was a meeting, and according to the source, the basic topic was the following. The simple fact is, UbiSoft is having financial issues, and there's a very strong possibility that Tencent could buy out the company. But there's still time, and the employees have a choice to make. The employees can either do what they are told and do the best they can to salvage the situation and their jobs, or they can continue to protest, and UbiSoft will bring in a third-party company to finish the game, and everyone will be laid off." Unquote.
Oh, shit! Ubisoft drops the hammer on the snowflake square in their safe spaces. Oh, man. So, my guess is the agenda is all well and good until you get fired over it. I imagine those wokies will figure it's going to be a long, cold winter on the dole, and I betcha they get back to work. What do you think, Doomcock?
That would be my guess as well, Harvey Cthulhu. You know, principles don't put bacon on the table. So that brings us up to speed on what allegedly happened at that meeting, folks. The situation is volatile and in flux. UbiSoft is getting tough. It's possible UbiSoft may just sell the company. It's possible they could lay off everyone and bring in a third-party company to implement the changes that UbiSoft wants. And I'm told by my spies, there's been talk inside the company that UbiSoft may get bailed out by the French government. My spies refuse to say any more about this possibility. So, there you have it, my friends. Some new rumors to consider, but of course, do take them with a grain of salt. In fact, take them with a few pinches of salt. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.